Mining is one of the most beloved gameplay loops in Star Citizen. After all, it comes in many sizes. You've got hand mining, which is mostly reserved for those who enjoy a bit of cave diving or criminals. Vehicle mining, centered around the Grey Cat Rock, but that could be in its own video. And of course, ship mining. Right now, there are only two mining ships in the game, the single-crewed Prospector and the Mole. SIG is developing two more though. The RSI Arastra announced at IAE 2953 it has been all the rave in the community at the size of a Carrack. The other is the RSI Orion, the capital class of the mining world. For this guide, we will focus on just the Prospector. To start this journey, we will need to acquire a Prospector. There's a couple ways we can do that. If you're irresponsible with your money, you can grab one from the RSI website for $155 US. If you'd like to pick one up in game, you'll need to head down to the surface of Hurston and swing through Tesla Spaceport to the New Deal. You can grab the Prospector from here, and you can come back later to grab the Mole or the Rock. $2 million is a bit pricey for a new player, so I have a solution for you. A better alternative is to rent the Prospector instead. This can be done at any of the refineries shown here. Head to one of these stations and use the main elevator to reach the refinery deck. Follow the catwalk across to the mining support center, and the rental kiosk will be in the back. You can also rent the Rock here for gem mining, and don't worry, all refineries currently look the same, so everything's in the same place no matter which one you go to. Let's take a look at our new ship. The Prospector is a solid ship for its size. It sports all size 1 components, but only has a little over 580 liters in the quantum fuel tank, so it lacks that long distance ability. The front and rear main thrusters turn downwards for a very stable VTOL mode. There is no cargo space on this ship, instead it has 4 ore canisters, but everyone just calls these saddlebags. The front mounted mining laser is the centerpiece of this ship as a mining vessel. It's not defenseless though. Even as an industrial ship, it comes equipped with 2 size 2 weapon slots, but no missiles. The side ladder leads into a cozy living quarters, and the pilot seat has an incredible, unhindered 180-degree view as well. The ship is okay on its own, but it couldn't hurt to improve a couple things. The first thing is going to be that quantum drive. The Atlas is a solid choice in the size 1 category with a balance of speed and efficiency. The VK00 is the fastest drive you can place on this ship, but a word of caution, it burns through fuel so fast. Great if you're mining and refining in the same subsystem. If you want the freedom to travel, you'll need to use the Atlas. The next piece we will look to upgrade is the front mounted mining laser. The stock laser is an arbor and a solid starting point, but I don't feel it's the best choice. There are currently 6 mining lasers in the game, each with varying strengths and weaknesses, and each come in sizes 1 and 2 versions. The two I find to be the best are the Helix and the Hofstede lasers. The Helix is a beast of a laser. It carries the title of the most powerful laser in both size 1 and size 2 categories. This power does come at a price, as it lowers optimal charge window size by more than half and has a very short laser range. Unforgiving for those that are inexperienced, but rewarding for those that are skilled enough. The Hofstede is the best laser for new miners. It has a staggering amount of helpful buffs, and it really allows more room for error while you're out there learning. If you're swapping these out in the vehicle loadout manager, you'll notice subcomponents beneath the lasers. These are called modules. Every laser has a limited number of these slots that allow you to equip special modifiers to change how your laser performs. Modules come in 2 flavors, active and passive. Passive mods provide permanent changes to your laser and come in tiers from 1 to 3. There are many in the game for you to try, but the 3 most helpful are the Torrent, Focus, and Riker series. The Torrent enables you to break rocks faster by increasing how fast a rock charges in the optimal window before it breaks. The Focus makes cracking rocks easier by increasing that same optimal charge window size. Lastly, the Riker provides a sizable boost to laser power. Active mods are similar but different. As the name suggests, these ones must be activated to be used. These have a limited number of uses and have a time duration, but apply a much stronger effect. The length of time per use and number of uses differ from mod to mod. Because they have a set number of uses, they are much cheaper than their passive counterparts. The best active mods are the Stampede, the Surge, and the Torpid. These do not come in tiers, so don't worry about any of that. The Stampede lasts a while and gives a good boost to laser power, specialized in stabilizing a rock to be easier to mine. The Surge provides a massive increase to laser power and even drops rock resistance, but only for a short time. The Torpid makes charging rocks both faster and safer, plus it's got a really long effect time. Play around with different combinations to find what works for your playstyle. These are the two configurations I would recommend starting out as a new miner. If you're unsure where to grab some of these things, I will link the Universal Item Finder in the description below. It's a helpful tool to find anything you're looking for in the verse, so give it a look later. With that all sorted, let's head out. Ship mining can be done either in asteroid fields or on planet's surface. With the recent mining changes, planet side has been altered to favor prospector-sized rocks. I'm going to head down to the surface of Ariel for the next leg of our journey. So we'll be right back. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to find rocks. Now, not just any rock can be mined. You can send out a ping by pressing and holding V for 2 or 3 seconds and letting it go. You'll see groups of bubbles appear. By pressing and holding left shift and pressing tab, you will switch into scanning mode. Point your crosshair at one of these groups of bubbles. Now, scroll your mouse wheel until your scan angle is at 2 degrees. You should see an RS signature appear on the left side. If it doesn't, just hop out of scanning mode and hop back in, and that usually fixes the problem. Ideally, you want this to be over 7,000 RS signature. A lower RS signature means less rocks in the cluster, so 7,000 or more usually indicates there's probably going to be 3, 4, or 5 or more. Ping again and you should see little white diamonds appear. You want these to be a little spread out, which indicates a rock cluster. If they're tightly packed together, that means they're gems for rock mining. As we make our approach, you will see these little diamonds turn into little blue rock symbols. Flip into mining mode by pressing M. Once you're close enough, it will start scanning the rock automatically. If this doesn't happen, jump in and out of mining mode, look away from the rock and look back, go try to scan a different rock, get obnoxiously close. Servers can be a bit finicky, and these are a lot of ways that I've gotten around it. Now there is a lot going on here, so let's see what we got. I've picked a completely random time to interrupt this video to ask you to drop a like on this video if you found it helpful and subscribe. Maybe the next guide I make is exactly what you're looking for. Anyways, back to the show. On the far right side, you can find all the rock data. This includes helpful key info like its mass, instability, resistance, and composition. Don't pay too much attention to the difficulty rating. I break rocks all the time that say impossible, so don't let that deter you. Rock composition is pretty helpful since some of the last major patches, giving a clear picture of what exactly is inside and how many SCUs you can get from it. Beside the rock info is the large charge bar. This has 3 segments: the white heat up zone, the green optimal charge window, and the red overcharge window. More on these in a bit. At the bottom corner of this bar, you can see the laser power, which starts at whatever your laser minimum power will allow. The bottom right shows the ore you've collected. Moving over to the left side is the distance from the laser head to the rock itself. This has 3 areas to know. The first mark from the bottom to the top is the maximum distance your laser can reach. Keep in mind, you can mine from that distance, but it is not nearly as effective. The next mark is the optimal distance from your laser. This is where you want to be, and it's unrelated to the optimal charge window on the right side. Lastly is the marked off caution zone. This is where you are at risk of receiving ship damage in the event you overcharge the rock. This zone will grow as the rock overcharges. The far left is where we can see all of the equipped mods info. Green text reflects positive laser effects, yellow reflect negative ones. The bottom left will tell you all your stats and all of the effects currently applied to your laser. Phew, okay, let's get to work. Turn your laser on by left clicking. To adjust your laser power, hold left alt and scroll up and down on your mouse wheel. The rock heats up from bottom to top, but it charges from right to left. The goal here is to heat the rock up to the optimal zone and then keep it there until it charges completely. After you have done so, it will fracture into smaller pieces. When you are mining, any rock outlined in yellow has to be fractured, and if it is outlined in purple, it's ready to be extracted. Some rocks you come across may already be purple, and that means you can extract it right away. To do this, simply right-click to swap to extraction mode. Just point, left-click, and extract until the rock is gone. Your distance from the rock and all that doesn't matter. Repeat these steps until you're full. In the meantime, a word from our sponsors. I'm just kidding, we don't have any sponsors. So just what kind of ores do we want exactly? Well, Quantanium is king in the mining world, coming in at 25,000 per SCU. Next up are what I call the big 3. You've got Bexelite, Terranite, and Gold. We're all familiar with that one. all valued somewhere between 7,300 and 7,800 depending on where you're selling it. Next up are the common valuables, and these range from 2,300 to 3,600. Lastly are common ores, and they only are worth about a couple hundred apiece. As you can imagine, the more valuable an ore is, the more difficult it is to find. Quantanium is obviously a good choice to mine. I prefer Bexlite, Borace, and Beryl as kind of my go-to ores. If I see them, I want them, because they have really good SCU to mass ratio when you're mining them. They're easier to mine and just give more bang for your buck in my opinion. With full saddlebags, we are ready to refine. Head to your preferred refinery station and make your way to the refinery floor. Take the same path you did to reach the mining support center, except this time head up the stairs to refinement processing. Inside there are two sets of terminals, a pair for ore selling and another for ore refinement. Ore selling saves you a lot of time because you can sell your ore just as it is. Keep in mind that raw ore on average is worth a little less than half as much as it would be refined. If you prefer to refine, there are two important things to know. One is that you have to pay the refinery to do so, and you will lose a little bit of each ore in the process. The other thing is that the refined ores must be sold planet-side at a trade and development division. If you don't have a cargo ship, don't worry about it. You can grab a Cutlass Black at the same terminal you rented the Prospector. There are quite a few ways to refine, but the ones that get you the most are Ferron Exchange and Dinks Solidification. The difference between these two is that Dinks will give you the same results as Ferron Exchange at half the price, but it will take 3 times as long to do so. So pick speed or savings, whichever you prefer. We obviously are not going to sit here and wait that whole time, so retrieving your order is really simple. Just pick the completed order, load it into your preferred method of transport, and head planetside. I find it a good practice to always store my ship, but live your life how you want. Each city is a bit different on TDD location, so just follow the signage or ask the chat. If you're at a commodity terminal and it says you can't sell, you might be at the admin office, so just double check. Aside from that, I'm confident you can figure out the selling part. With our gameplay loop complete, I have one last tip for you. It's a bit of a secret in the mining community. You can upgrade the saddlebags of your Prospector, but it's not something you can buy. Each saddlebag on your Prospector holds 9 SCU of ore. The ones on the mole hold 12. You see where I'm getting with this. There used to be a mole salvage mission that you could get these from that was pretty cheap, but that's gone away. You're going to have to ask another player to help you out if you don't have a mole yourself. When doing so, press right Alt K to unlock the ship ports on your Prospector. Then simply use the tractor beam to slide your old bags out, slide the mole bags onto the Prospector, and that's it. To finish, go back to a station and swap out any component and save the changes. Now, your Prospector can hold 48 SCUs of ore, half as much as the mole, and it'll persist even if you have to claim or repair the ship. I hope this guide was helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.